Hey YouTube, this is Southern Prepper One, and welcome to Boots on the Ground. If you have anything to offer, send it to Southern Prepper One, Southern Prepper One, just the number 1 at yahoo.com. Let's get right into it. Could you please do a channel shout out for me? Definitely. My channel name is Lori's Thrifty Kitchen Pantry. I just launched a few months ago, and I teach people how to cook delicious, creative meals using what you have. It usually comes from a local food pantry. So she's using a local food pantry, and she'll show you how to cook. So a great resource. I will definitely put the link in the description. I will put the link in the first comment, pinned comment, so you can go check her out, go give her some love, and tell her the SP1 community over here stopped in to see her. Our local Hy-Vee grocery store here in Eastern Iowa has a meat sale this weekend, and I think it was last weekend. I'm not sure when, but it was just unbelievable. No limits. Chicken breast $1.69, pork chops 4 for $5, and they go on and on. So what I'm saying is look for those huge sales and stock your freezer that way by getting things on sale. Tonight, the governor of Nevada issued a proclamation declaring liquid petroleum gas delivery emergency. Recent storms, along with existing supply chain issues, have delayed the delivery of propane in Nevada. These widespread delays has caused a drop in propane supply. Given ongoing severe weather condition, it is critical that Nevadans get access to adequate propane supplies. To immediately address the propane delivery emergency ahead of more severe winter weather, the governor has facilitated a temporary suspension of motor carrier regulations. This will expedite deliveries. So this is normal for them to do that. But if you're in Nevada, make sure you get your propane stocked up. If it's getting a little bit low, you might want to contact them earlier. This is Cave Creek, Arizona. Went to our local Sprouts market this evening and found eggshells completely bare. Not a single cart was available. We observed holes here and there in the past, but this time the entire section was completely empty. The shortage is finally hitting our side of town here in Arizona. I came upon a report in the New York Post of unqualified laborers in the New York City working on gas lines. Where else in our country are unqualified laborers weakening our infrastructure, and this relates to prepping. I pray that the lawsuit that they brought to investigate will help prevent any tragedies. It is important that other Americans learn about such neglect because it's happening in the cities or communities and needs to be addressed. So yeah, anytime untrained people are working on infrastructure, especially gas lines, it is concerning because definitely don't want a mistake. Hopefully they'll be trained properly. But there is a shortage of workers, and I guess they're going to take anyone they can. A warm body is better than nobody. This person sent me some pictures. Appreciate it. Basically, it was Mexico, and it showed pictures and prices. Basically, converted over to U.S. dollars, 2 18 packs of eggs were only $5.73, and there was lots of them. And they also said, notice the eggs in Mexico needs no refrigeration, are good for months, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they were definitely just on the shelf. Cartel is hard at work in Mexico on Route 15, burning massive amounts of tractor trailers with produce in it. Ashes making a huge mess. Cars, pickup trucks, buses. And this, I guess, what they saw on their 5-hour drive today. And they said, do not drive at night here for your own safety in certain areas. And this is Mexico, the country of Mexico. The price and availability of eggs in East Tennessee, unbelievable. This is our local Walmart in Tennessee, $4.79. Also, 2 cartons of 18 eggs, $11 and change. Also, this person says, my diabetes medicine, shortage of it. Can't get it. So they're changing their eating habits and then putting on an exercise plan, and hopefully this will help their diabetes. I think most things could be helped with proper diet, drinking plenty of water, getting plenty of sleep, and getting exercise. Not everything can be fixed by that, but that is going to make your body work at its best, and hopefully can alleviate a lot of problems where we as Americans just pop a pill to solve it. This is an update from Dallas. I emailed you a couple times over the last year. I work in a very large hospital. Currently, there's a 2-day wait for hospital beds. ER is packed with various viruses. Had a coworker that went to the ER because she wasn't feeling good. She was told it was going to be about a 2-day wait. So she didn't even go back to them. She went to work because she was afraid to lose her job. After a couple of hours, she had a massive seizure and she needed medical care instantaneously, but it took about 10 minutes for a rapid response team to get there with everything they needed. Our hospital is cutting staff that works in material management. They purchase robots to deliver goods around the hospital now. This person also got very sick for 21 days, had to go to 3 pharmacies to get my medicine. So hopefully you are staying healthy out there. Just one report, more egg shortages in Spokane, Washington, and paying a lot of money for them. This is from New Zealand. I think we have it bad with eggs. Listen to this from New Zealand. Eggs are approaching $1 per egg and are now being sold of cartons of 4. Yes, a carton is made with 4 eggs in it. I saw it with my own eyes. They sent pictures of it. With a limit of 2 cartons per shopping trip. Many stores have completely sold out. We have no bird flu here in New Zealand. It's due to the outlawing of caged and next year barn eggs. All eggs must be free range before 2025. And many farmers are just giving up and retiring because of all the new regulations and cost. Also, limes from the U.S. are $23 per pound. Converted from kilograms over to pounds. Also attached photos of signs of shortages in liquor. And they say it's because of a supply chain issue in Kentucky. And then just a lot of shortages and a lot of high prices there in New Zealand. Utah. No eggs in Utah finally, she said. And first they had a limit, now there's no eggs at all. And that's in that Costco in Sandy, Utah. This was an article that's reporting that EPA is changing their pollution regulation in the area, which will probably force 10,000 farmers out of business. They claim farmers are killing Lake Erie due to algae. But the lake had this feature 200 years ago. Some areas of the lake are very low, which grows algae. I would bet they're doing this region by region across the country, just like they did to the Dutch farmers that came under attack. So more attacks against farmers, and will be less food in the pipeline. I live in Rochester, New York. My husband runs an auto parts store, so every time I need parts, I get them through him because it costs much less. I've been going to the same mechanic for about 6 years. I needed an oil change, tire rotation, and the front brakes replaced. I brought the parts to the shop myself, $199 for front pads and rotors for a Buick. The shop charged me $302 for the service. That's $500 in all. I looked at the invoice. They charged the service fee of $60, a separate $30 for the tire rotation. They have never done that before. It's usually included in the oil change costs. My husband thinks they charge extra because I bought and brought in my own parts. We will be using a friend to do the work from now on. Coinbase is slashing 20% of its workforce. I think they already slashed 18%. So layoffs, more layoffs everywhere. Goldman is cutting 3,200 jobs this week. This person says, I'm from Alabama and been looking for food for my cat. I can no longer find it anywhere, but I went to get something different for them, and I visited 2 Walmarts and a Dollar General in a 15-mile radius, and the only food there was the super expensive ones. Here's a few pictures, and there was empty shelves, and this looked like it was empty shelves for canned goods and empty shelves for the dry bagged goods. I usually buy and order paper from Staples. A box of 10 reams used to be $50. Now it is $70. But now a box of 8 reams is $50. So definitely expenses going up and the products getting smaller. Just wanted to share the facts on the Alaska egg shortages. It's not a shipping issue. It was due to bird flu in Washington State, and they've culled over 1 million birds. Definitely, they're culling birds everywhere. This will affect the whole Northwest. My husband and I have lived remotely in Alaska for 40 plus years. I'd like to suggest 2 books for your readers: Back to Basics by Reader's Digest, and book number 2, Alaska Cookbook for Homesteaders. I'll put those links in there so you can find them quicker. This should probably be somebody that knows, seeing they've lived in Alaska for 40 plus years. And I can say Back to Basics, Reader's Digest, I have that. It's an excellent book. This is from a CNN report saying that the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Board is coming to get a ban on gas stoves. They were talking about this for a while, and it could be gas appliances, water heaters, stoves, etc. But it looks like they're going to start with stoves. Some parts of the United States are starting to ban any natural gas product being used. So you can't use natural gas for hot water heaters, for stoves, for anything. The Swiss Central Bank reported massive losses last year. They said they lost 143 billion. That's the largest loss they've ever had in a 116-year history. Apparently, the egg shortage and cat food shortage has come to northern Montana. The aisles in Walmart seems noticeably wider and shorter. That Walmart was out of dry cat food except for some exotic, expensive cat food. There are also very little canned cat food. The Walmart was out of cartons of 5 dozen eggs and only had a couple of 18-pack cartons of fancy eggs at $7.17. The Costco at another location was completely out of eggs. An employee told us that they're expecting a shipment tomorrow. These people are a regular customer at Aldi's, and egg prices have definitely gone up there. Now they're up to $5.86 a dozen. I listened to you the other evening, and I heard people throwing away freezer burned chicken and other meat. I use that stuff to pressure can for pet food. My dogs and cats don't mind it being a bit old at all, and with the water in the jars, it reconstitutes any dry spots nicely. So don't throw it away. They also said it's probably still edible for humans, but it might taste a little funny just because it's old. So turn it into cat and dog food for sure. After hearing about car repair reports, I thought I would chime in. I hit a small deer, damage was minor, but decided to file a claim. Being in a small town without any auto body shops, I went into the first auto body shop about 30 minutes away. They couldn't see me for 5 weeks, so I decided to call around. Second place, 3-month wait. Third place, 5-month wait. Fourth place, 4-month wait. Went back quietly and took the appointment and waited till they could get my car in. But then the wait was even longer. They had trouble getting the parts, so my 3-day repair became 2 weeks. Part shortages and delays. Luckily, I was able to get car rental from my insurance company. The World Bank said that global growth has slowed to the extent that global economy is really close to falling into recession. Also, there's a 50% chance that the Fed will have to boost its benchmark rate to about 5, and there's a 50% chance the central bank will have to go to 6%. And this is coming from the J.P. Morgan Chase Company, the chief executive officer. If that gets up to 6%, it's going to kill car loans, it's going to kill the housing market, and it's going to decimate our country because we will be paying more on the bonds, the debt that we have. And it's going to be catastrophic. I heard that if it gets up to 5% by the year 2025, the interest on our debt would be about 50% would be needed of all of our tax revenue coming in just to pay the interest. That is devastating. That would cause serious cuts in everything, or it's going to cause super hyperinflation. I listened to your report from January 7th, and the parts about the extra water in the hamburger remind me of a similar experience I had a few days ago. We've been buying the frozen Butterball 93% lean turkey burgers for years and decided to cook some up the other night. Cooked them for the same time at the exact same temperature, but this time they shrunk up to the size of a little slider. They weren't much bigger than the size of an Oreo. I was absolutely upset and in shock. I didn't even make a meal. We had to peel away half the bread from our bun for the ratio to be right. I was so mad, especially considering that the price went from $7 for 6 patties to now up to $12. I shopped at Trader Joe's this afternoon. They have removed an entire aisle and moved stuff around. It was shocking and creepy to see so many things missing. Heavy whipping cream was available, but at almost $5 per pint. The store I went to had no unsalted butter. They did have plenty of eggs, but it was $6 per dozen. An entire section of fresh produce was removed. I grabbed 2 of everything on my list. Might be the last time I get what I wanted there. The Pennsylvania State Police are investigating multiple catalytic converter thefts from vehicles that occurred, I think, at a dealership. It was 7 of them were stolen, putting a value of $27,000. A little update from a small town in Mississippi. Today I went to a local co-op to inquire on soil sample testing and to see about seed starting soil. While I was there, the guy behind the desk told me they ordered gardening stuff in early December of 2022 and have not received the first item they have ordered. Also advised me that seeds are extremely hard to acquire, and if I see them, to buy what I need. We usually have onion sets and potato sets late December or early January. Hopefully this isn't a sign of how the garden season is going to be. Thank goodness I started saving seeds last year. This is Southern Oregon. Grange Co-op 50-pound bag of egg laying pellets is now $19, up from $13 in the last 18 months. So from $13 to $19. Doing everything we can supplement our flock here, anything that we can grow at home to feed them. I've sent a few updates, but mostly been business as usual. While we have needed to select more expensive brands, we never had any trouble for the last 2 years. Thank the Lord. Well, that is certainly over. Went shopping with a buddy the last 2 weeks to Costco. Don't think it is needed, but hey, never know. Just getting extras. We could have bought a big 10-pack of eggs last week, but we didn't, and today they were cleared out. The organic free-range pasture eggs that were $15 a dozen. That is crazy. Costco meat section that has been a bright spot is now very thin. Almost no choice meat and very little prime. They have moved pork to fill in for the beef. Lamb was down to maybe a dozen packs. Fresh chicken oddly still looks stocked. Canned meats are thin. No Vienna sausages at all. Very small amount of Spam and other Costco staples. They removed a shelving unit and the aisles are much wider. I have a nice winter garden going and already prepared to expand for spring. Everyone needs a victory garden, even if it's just a few planters on an apartment balcony with greens. I'm a receptionist for a pulmonary doctor. Our clinic experienced a patient drop last year due to the cost of things going up, I believe. We have patients giving up CPAP machines and other things, or even not even following up with visits. At the start of the year, insurance companies decided if they will change people's copay and not send out new cards, or they will not pay for medication that people had been on for years without prior authorizations. So when a patient calls about a refill now, we have to take the extra steps and wait on insurance to hurry up and approve it. Also, we have patients calling us stating Express Scripts told him about a shortage on widely used medication, so they want to switch him to something else. I feel it's going to be another long year for the medical field. RSV and the flu is rampant over there. Lastly, but not least, when I wrote you a couple of weeks ago about cat food in northern Kentucky, coffee and eggs were stocked at that time. It is no longer that. A lot of shortages, especially the coffee and the eggs. Things are definitely getting worse and worse and worse. I don't want to discourage you with these reports. I want you to take these reports as intel. Top off your coffee, top off cat food. Make sure your egg situation is good. And then just generally buy extras if you can afford it. It's better to have that stuff sit in the pantry, sit in your closet, because you're going to use it up. Don't buy anything you do not eat. If you eat it, stock it. So there you go. Don't be discouraged. Continue to prep, continue to pray, and continue to look for chances to help people that need it. There's a lot of people suffering out there. So if you can act and show some kindness to people, it will be greatly appreciated, and it might just change their life. Thank you.